A man enters a forest and is never seen again. A woman checks into a hotel room that no longer exists. A group of hikers vanish from a mountain, leaving behind only a single tent and footsteps that end in the snow. These aren't stories made for horror films. They are real-life mysteries linked to locations that seem to defy logic, reason, and even the laws of nature. Across the world, there are places where people go missing under the most chilling circumstances. No struggle, no witnesses, no remains. Whether it's supernatural forces, government cover-ups, or phenomena that science can't yet explain, these places all share one thing in common. People entered them and were never seen again. These are the 10 most haunted places where people vanished without a trace. Number 10, Hoia Baciu Forest, Romania. Located in the heart of Transylvania, Hoia Baciu Forest has earned its terrifying nickname, the Bermuda Triangle of Romania. With its twisted, unnatural-looking trees and eerie silence, the forest has long been associated with paranormal encounters. The most famous case occurred in 1968, when a military technician captured a photo of what appeared to be a UFO hovering above the trees. Days later, he ventured into the forest to investigate and was never seen again. Numerous others have entered the forest and reported disturbing symptoms: burns on their skin, memory loss, nausea, and feelings of being watched by something they couldn't see. Deep within the forest lies a strange circular clearing where no vegetation grows. Scientists have been unable to explain this dead zone, which seems to resist at all plant life despite perfect conditions. Local legends speak of a shepherd who vanished into the forest with 200 sheep, none of which were ever found. Hoia Baciu has become a hotspot for paranormal investigators, but even they admit they don't fully understand what lurks between the trees. Some say it's a portal, others say it's alive. Number 9, Lake Anjikuni, Canada. In 1930, an Inuit village near Lake Anjikuni in northern Canada became the center of one of the strangest mass disappearances in history. A fur trapper named Joe LaBelle arrived at the lakeside community and found a haunting scene. The huts were completely empty. Fires were still burning, meals were left uneaten, and belongings were untouched. Even the sled dogs were discovered frozen to death, still tied up outside, as if the villagers had simply vanished into thin air. Most chilling of all, nearby graves had been dug up and the bodies removed. Authorities investigated, but no signs of struggle, footprints, or tracks were found. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police were baffled, and no official explanation was ever released. Over time, the story has been buried under skepticism, but locals still believe that the villagers were taken by something not of this earth. Whether it was alien abduction, a spiritual curse, or something hidden in the icy wilderness, the truth has never surfaced. The entire population disappeared, leaving only questions behind. Number 8, the Bennington Triangle, Vermont, USA. Between 1945 and 1950, a series of mysterious disappearances occurred in a region of southwestern Vermont known as the Bennington Triangle. The most well-known case was that of 18-year-old college student Paula Weldon, who went for a solo hike on the Long Trail and never returned. An extensive search involving helicopters, dogs, and hundreds of volunteers turned up no clues, no footprints, clothing, or signs of a struggle. Over the next few years, 4 more people disappeared under similar circumstances, including a war veteran, an elderly woman, and a young boy. All vanished within the same 10-mile radius. Some witnesses claimed to have seen figures vanish into thin air, or strange lights floating above the woods. Others heard voices calling their names only to find nothing there. The forest is dense, the terrain unforgiving, but none of that explains how 5 people could disappear without leaving behind even a shred of evidence. Today, the area remains remote and heavily forested. Locals still speak of strange energies in the woods, places where compasses spin uncontrollably and the air turns cold without warning. Whatever haunts the Bennington Triangle, it hasn't stopped watching. Number 7, Aokigahara Forest, Japan. At the base of Japan's iconic Mount Fuji lies a forest so dense and eerily silent, it's often called the most haunted location in the country. Aokigahara, known internationally as the Suicide Forest, has earned its grim reputation through the hundreds of people who have entered its shadows and never returned. Each year, dozens of bodies are discovered within the forest, many of them hanging from trees or hidden in makeshift tents. But not all who go missing are found. Some vanish without a trace, as if the forest itself consumed them. Locals say the forest is cursed, haunted by yurei, restless spirits of the dead. Travelers report hearing whispers, feeling hands pulling at their clothing, and even seeing apparitions that vanish when approached. Compasses fail, GPS devices stop working, and cell signals disappear. Volunteers who attempt to recover bodies often become disoriented and must mark their paths with tape to find their way back. In some cases, even the tape has mysteriously disappeared, leaving them lost inside the forest. The government has stopped publishing suicide statistics, but the legend continues to grow. In Aokigahara, even daylight can't break the feeling that something is watching. Number 6, the Devil's Kettle, Minnesota, USA. Along the north shore of Lake Superior lies Judge C.R. Magny State Park, home to one of the most bizarre natural phenomena in North America. At one point in the park's Brule River, the water splits in two. One stream continues downstream, while the other drops into a hole in the rock known as the Devil's Kettle. What's chilling is that no one knows where the water goes. Scientists have poured dye, ping pong balls, and GPS trackers into the hole, but nothing has ever emerged downstream. The water, and anything in it, simply disappears. In '99, a local hiker reportedly slipped near the edge of the kettle and vanished. Despite searches, no remains were found, and the incident was quietly buried. Legends say the hole leads to another dimension, a void where lost things and people go. Native folklore also warns of spirits that dwell beneath the land, swallowing those who trespass too close. While geologists have recently proposed theories involving underground fissures, no one has ever proven exactly where the Devil's Kettle leads. It's one of those places where science hits a wall and mystery takes over. Number 5, Hotel Cecil, Los Angeles, USA. Built in 1924, the Hotel Cecil was meant to be a glamorous destination in downtown Los Angeles. Instead, it became infamous as a magnet for death, crime, and disappearances. The hotel has been linked to at least 16 sudden deaths and multiple serial killers, including Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. But the most unsettling case is that of Elisa Lam. In 2013, the Canadian student was seen acting erratically in a hotel elevator, pressing buttons randomly, peering out as if someone was following her, and moving in strange, jerky motions. Days later, her body was found in a sealed rooftop water tank. The tank was locked and difficult to access, yet there were no signs of forced entry, no evidence of how she got inside. The footage of her behavior went viral, sparking theories ranging from mental illness to demonic possession. Some say the hotel is cursed, a hotspot for dark energy that preys on the vulnerable. Former guests have reported hearing voices, seeing shadowy figures, and experiencing sleep paralysis during their stay. The building has since been rebranded, but the dark energy seems permanent. The walls of the Hotel Cecil have soaked in too much fear to forget. Number 4, the Dyatlov Pass, Russia. In 1959, 9 experienced hikers set out on a trek through the Ural Mountains in Soviet Russia. They never returned. Their campsite was discovered weeks later, and the scene defied logic. Their tent had been cut open from the inside. The bodies were scattered across the snow, some half-dressed despite freezing temperatures. One woman was missing her tongue. Several had crushed ribs and skull fractures, injuries consistent with high-impact trauma, but without any external wounds. Radioactivity was found on some of their clothing. Soviet authorities ruled the cause as a compelling natural force, but the case was quickly closed and files locked away. Since then, theories have ranged from avalanche to secret military weapons to alien interference. Hikers who've retraced their steps describe sudden drops in temperature and eerie silence. Russian officials recently reopened the investigation, but their conclusions only raised more questions. The mountain where they died is called Don't Go There in the local Mansi language, a warning that no one heeded. Number 3, Helltown, Ohio, USA. Once a thriving village called Boston in Summit County, Ohio, this town was suddenly evacuated in the 1970s when the government claimed it needed the land for a national park. Residents were forced to leave, and their homes were boarded up or demolished. But the official explanation didn't sit right with locals. Over time, chilling stories began to emerge of secret experiments, mutated animals, and chemical spills. People reported being chased out of the area by black government SUVs, hearing screams from abandoned buildings, and seeing lights deep in the forest where no lights should be. Churches were said to be run by cults. Roads were blocked without reason. Several thrill seekers who went exploring were never seen again. Urban explorers have found odd markings, sealed basements, and underground tunnels with no official record. Some believe the government was hiding something beneath the town, something that couldn't be allowed to escape. Helltown remains fenced off in places, and visitors are still warned to stay out. Not because of ghosts, but because of what might still be alive down there. Number 2, Roanoke Island, North Carolina, USA. The first English colony in the New World disappeared without a trace. In 1587, over 100 settlers established a colony on Roanoke Island. 3 years later, a supply ship returned to find it completely abandoned. Homes were dismantled, fortifications gone, and no bodies or personal items remained. The only clue was the word Croatoan carved into a nearby tree. Historians have speculated that the settlers integrated with nearby tribes, died of disease, or fled inland, but no conclusive evidence has ever surfaced. What makes Roanoke so chilling is the precision of the disappearance. It's as if the colony had never been there. Excavations continue, but most leads go cold. Psychics claim the land is cursed, and local tribes speak of a darkness that swallowed the invaders whole. Whatever the truth, the colony that began America's history vanished completely, leaving only a single word and a centuries-old mystery. Number 1, the missing Sodder children, West Virginia, USA. On Christmas Eve 1945, a fire destroyed the Sodder family's home in Fayetteville, West Virginia. 5 of the 10 Sodder children were believed to be trapped inside, but after the fire was extinguished, no remains were found. Experts testified that the fire hadn't burned hot enough to completely destroy bones. A witness claimed to have seen the children peering from a car window that night. Later, a photo arrived anonymously showing a man resembling one of the missing boys, now grown. The parents put up billboards with the children's faces and offered a reward for information, but the case went nowhere. Theories range from mafia involvement to kidnapping to government abduction, but none have been proven. The FBI opened the case, then quietly closed it. The Sodder family believed until their deaths that their children were still alive and taken. The house is long gone, but the mystery remains. The 5 children simply vanished. No ashes, no bones, no goodbye. These places are more than haunted. They are black holes where history, people, and truth disappear. No answers, no justice. Just empty spaces where something or someone waits. Whether it's dark energy, forgotten history, or something we can't yet comprehend, the silence surrounding these locations speaks louder than screams. And as long as people continue to visit them, the list of the missing will continue to grow.